Alright, so starting again. So this is 23. So I just did a small bit of typing, but I'll do it all again. Okay, so we're going to start off with main. Okay, we'll have an employee class. Now, every employee has a PPS number, a name, and wages. Okay, so they're the three attributes. So every employee is going to have a PPS, which is an int. Now I know PPS is not an int. Okay, we're just making it handy for ourselves. Okay, so your PPS in reality is not an int. Does everyone understand that? Could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. There's always a letter in it as well. Okay, just to make it handy for ourselves, we're making it an int. Okay, everyone's going to have a name. Okay, everyone's going to get wages. Okay, now everyone is going to do work. Okay, so all employees are going to do work. So you only put in the employee class what every employee is going to do. Okay, so every employee is going to have a PPS, is going to have a name, is going to have wages. Also, every employee is going to do some work. Alright, so that's what's common across all employees. Then we have an accountant class. Okay, now we have accountant extends employee. Okay, now so what goes in here is what applies to all accountants only. So if we've any particular type of accountants, and we're going to have a forensic accountant and a legal accountant as we get through the classes. Okay, so what goes in here is everything that applies to all accountants. Okay, so if you want to become a fully qualified accountant, you need usually a couple of qualifications, degree and masters and all sorts of stuff. Okay, so you need to have a couple of qualifications. So this is an array of strings, which is going to hold your qualifications. Now, this one could apply also to employee, but I'm going to put it in the accountant class. That's your tax-free allowance. Okay, that's the amount you're allowed each. Well, the amount you're allowed each week where you're not going to pay any tax. Okay, so let's say your basic is €800 a week. You might have a tax-free allowance for 150 a week. Everyone understand that? Yeah. Okay. Then, some employees, some accountants will have health insurance, some won't. Okay, so we're going to make that a boolean. We're assuming everyone who has a health plan is going to have the same one. Okay, so you either have a health plan, it'll be true, or you won't have a health plan, it'll be false. Everyone okay with that? Yeah. That means that every accountant has a PPS number, has a name, has wages. They also have a few qualifications. They also have a tax-free allowance. They also may have a health plan. Okay, they may have health insurance. They don't have to. They may. Okay. Now obviously an accountant is going to do different work than an ordinary employee. So this employee, all you have to put in here is something that every employee does. Okay. Now an accountant is a specialized employee, so he's going to need to do certain things. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of everything on the screen for a minute. Now, so what you can do is, I'm going to create 3 further methods. Okay, first method is going to be called void billing. Okay, so these are going to be tasks. These are tasks that every accountant does. So billing is doing out the bills. Okay, so billing, so every accountant is going to do billing, and this is I am an accountant. Billing, providing bills, making sure bills are paid, so on and so forth. So every accountant is going to do this. So every accountant does out the wages. So this is void calc wages. And all I have in here is I am an accountant calculating wages. And every accountant does the budgets. Okay, so void do budgets. So in here, I am an accountant doing the budgets. Okay, so now that means inside the work method here, I am going to, so put in the comment first. Inside this work method for every accountant, we are calling 3 other methods of the accountant class. So we're going to do billing. We're going to do calc wages. We're going to do budgets. Okay, so what is the work every accountant does? Every accountant does billing, calc wages, and do budgets. Okay, so does the billing, calculates the wages, and does the budget. So what we're doing here, we're building a tree of employees, and we're going to show you how each methods are being called.
Can you go?
And the next one then we're going to do an animal class after this. So all we're doing here, we're just showing you the different, what method is called depending on the reference and so on and so forth.
Can you go?
Up. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down the screen. So we have the accountant class. Accountant class extends employee. He's got 3 additional attributes, qualifications, allowance, and health plan. This is the overridden work method. Okay, this is an overridden work method, and inside that it calls 3 other methods: billing, calc wages, and do wages, do budgets. So take the billing from here, calc wages from here, and do budgets from here. Okay, now so this is the end of accountancy class. Next one. This is going to be a forensic accountant. So class. Okay, now we're not going to put anything in here. Okay, we're not going to put anything in the forensic accountants class. So that means nothing in this class. So it takes everything from the accountant class. Takes work method from accountant class. Takes 3 variables from accountant class, and accountant takes 3 variables from employee class, which means forensic has 6 variables. Right. That means if you declare a forensic accountant, he is going to have 6 variables. He also has a work method, and the work method is going to consist of billing, calc wages, and do budgets. Okay, nothing else. Okay, and he has the 6 variables, which are health plan, allowance, qualifications, int PPS, string name, double wages. Okay, now we're going to create another class. So this is the end of forensic accountant. And this creates another one. So this is going to be chartered accountant. Now, this is going to take the 6 variables from 3 variables from the employee, 3 variables from the accountant, and it's going to have its own work method. Void work. Now, as with all of them, it's very simple. SYSO. I am a chartered accountant working. Okay. So I'm going to put in a comment. Over. No, this is overridden.
Overridden, yeah.
Yeah. So this is an overridden work method. So when we create a chartered accountant. This is the work method that will be called for that person. Our chartered accountant has 6 variables, just like forensic accountant and the accountant. Okay, so it goes employee, accountant, and then it can either be chartered or forensic. Okay, so employee leads to accountant. Accountant can either be a chartered accountant or a forensic accountant. That's basically what it looks like. Okay, now we can decide not to be an accountant at all. So we can. So this is the end of chartered. So I'm going to go class human resources extends employee, and I'm going to have nothing inside this. So this has no methods or no variables inside it. So it takes everything from the employee. So it only has 3 variables. 3 attributes. And 1 method, work, which it will take from the employee class. Okay, so now, so we've got, let's put in here end of human resources class. So the way that looks is you have an employee, okay, and what directly inherits from that? Human resources. Okay, and what inherits directly from that? Accountant. And what directly inherits from an accountant can either be a chartered accountant or forensic. That's what it looks like. Okay, that's what we have designed. Now we could have other types of employees. We could have engineers, and engineers could be software engineers, civil engineers, mechanical engineers, whatever. Okay, so that's the way we split up our program. We have a superclass called employee. We've got 2 subclasses of employee, one is human resources, one accountant. Accountant also has got 2 subclasses, chartered and forensic. Now it's important to remember that human resources and accountant, they don't really have any link as such. The only link that they have is that they're both employees. Okay, but human resources doesn't directly link to accountant. Okay, similar, chartered doesn't link directly to forensic accountant. Right? There's no real relationship between those two. Well, they're both an accountant, but they're not related to each other, right? Forensic doesn't extend chartered, human resources doesn't extend accountant. That's what I mean by relationship. Okay, so accountant extends employee, chartered and forensic, they're both accountants and they both extend accountant. Is everyone okay with that? Yeah? Right. Now, as I said already, multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java. Alright? Multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java. You inherit from one class and one class only. So you can't have, for instance, here, I can't have chartered inheriting from both. I can't have chartered inheriting both from accountant and human resources. Okay, does everyone understand that? You could only extend from one class at a time. Alright? Multiple inheritance is not allowed. Now, so what we're going to do, we're going to create a couple of employee objects. We're going to create a couple of employees. We're going to create a couple of forensic accountants and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, first person we're going to create is an accountant. Okay? So, we've got this counted. End is equal to new accountant. Now, so we're going to go ND.work. Now, what does ND do? So this calls the accountant work method, which calls 3 other methods unique to the accountant class, which are billing, calc wages, and do budgets. So if I run that, show my console down here, I am an account. So ND work has 3 methods inside it called billing, calc wages, and do budgets. Okay, that's that one. That's that one. That's that one. Okay, so you have one method that's calling 2 other methods. Now I'm going to create 2 other accountants. I'm going to create a forensic accountant. Call him Fred. So I am going to go forensic. Fred is equal to new and the next one is creating our chartered accountant. So this is going to be Charlie. All right. Now, so if I go Fred.work, which is the forensic accountant. This is calls the work method in the accountant class, as there is no work method in the forensic accountant class. So there is no work method in the forensic accountant class, so that means it will take its implementation from the accountant class. Now, Charlie is different. Just to make sure that it is. So this is our first accountant, Andy. This is our forensic accountant. Now, there's nothing in the forensic accountant class, so what it does, it takes everything from the accountant class. Okay. Now, it's not hard to put a little print statement above them to say this is Andy accountant, so we know where we are. And then we have, that's what I saw, Fred, forensic accountant. So there's Andy the accountant, then we have Fred the forensic accountant. Hello, John. Not too bad. That woman I was calling Joan, it was our nephew she was talking about. And I said for him to ring me, and he hasn't rang me yet. That's as much as we can do, Joan. So, yeah. Alright, so Joan, let's see. Okay, bye. Right. So, Fred the forensic accountant. So, next one we're going to do Charlie.work. Okay. Now, so this calls the overridden work method in the chartered class. Okay, that's overridden. All right. So if I run, and I'll put that above it. This is Charlie chartered accountant. All right. So if we run that one, I am a chartered accountant working. So the work method is overridden in the chartered accountancy class. The forensic accountant class does not have a work method, so it will take the work method from the accountancy class. Andy is just a basic accountant, so that is going to take the work method from the accountancy class. Okay, there is no, if you didn't have a work method in the accountancy class, it would take the work method from the employee class. Is everyone with me so far? Yes? Yeah? Alright. Now, I am going to create another one here. So, human resources. This is going to be Helen. Is equal to new human resources. Okay. So, now. So then we go Helen.work. And above that, I'm going to put in a print statement. Helen in human resources. Now, what this does is, Helen is not Helen directly inherits from employee. Okay, so Helen takes directly from employee. So think of our structure. All right, when you're doing out your program initially, you will want to make sure that you have some sort of diagram done out. All right, it's not just up tearing into it. So you'll have your diagram done out where you'll have your employees. Beneath employees, you'll have accountant. Then you'll have two different types of accountant. You'll have chartered and forensics. You will have also one class that's directly inheriting from employee, another class which is human resources. Helen directly inherits from employee. She is not any type of accountant. So she has only 3 attributes. And has the method work, which she will get from the employee class. So Helen.work will print off I am employee working. Living with me on there. Okay? So you need to know the structure of it, right? You need your diagrams. If you don't have your diagrams, you're not going to be able to work this out. Well, you'll be able to work this one out. But when things get more complicated, your inheritance is going to be a lot more complicated than that normally. As well, if you're inheriting from a class, it doesn't have to be in the same file. What do I mean by that? I'm quickly going to create, just watch me here, I'm in watch I'm doing this. So I go to the same program, I go new, I'm going to create a class. I'm going to create a fireman class. Fireman. Okay, click on finish. Now, this is in a different file, however, okay, so fireman does not have to be in the same file. To extend employee. Okay, now if you have a couple of important classes and you're thinking those classes are important enough to have them in a file by themselves, well then put them in a file by themselves. If you've got 15 different classes and you want to put those 15 different classes, let's say you have 15 different classes, they all extend animal. Okay, so you have 15 different types of animal and maybe there's other subclasses in there. If you want to put in 15 different types of animals in 15 different types in 15 files, then do that. Okay, it's often sometimes easier to do that way because you can clearly see all your classes by just looking here to the left. Okay, so do you have a question?
Oh, it's just like everything is the same for all the classes in order to forensic accounts, so it's running an exception.
It's what's the exception, sir?
Class forensic account extends account just like everybody else. The ABM is the
And what's the exception? You have one class inside.
Population problem.
You're inside. You have a class inside a class. That's what's wrong. So check your bracketing. Yeah.
Is it possible to make like okay, we already let's say in employee class we have forensics accountant, yes?
Yeah.
Is it possible to like when you're starting typing?
Yeah.
In main forensics, it's like autofilled.
You mean by putting something in here, it's automatically going to create a class? No.
No, not class, like help to type. Because actually, like I found that I making some mistakes, like one letter different or something, and oh, it's not working. So
Well, you know, you see.
Because it was dark, lengthy, and all this was short, easy.
I know, but the reason I'm putting in long names, I'm showing you that it's not a good idea to have long names. That's why I did it. Okay, so I am showing you. I want to show you that if you can, avoid long names.
Definitely.
Okay, so Now, it's not all the time you can avoid them. Let's say name of department could be shortened to name depart. Okay, so try and avoid. That is the reason I put that in there, to show you that that's exactly you've learned the lesson. Okay, now if you are going to keep them short, make sure you can still make out what they are, what anyone else can make out what they are. Let's say name of second last contestant in yesterday's race. That's too long. So you'd have second last race yesterday or something like that. Okay, and that's what I mean is when you're creating your variables, you need to say what they are. Creating an accountant, creating our forensic accountant, creating our chartered accountant. Each variable you have, put in a comment to say what it is. What's this shorthand for? Now I'm going to create. So we can clearly see there different methods are being called in different parts of our work, our employee class, our accountant class, our forensic accountant class, and our chartered accountant class. Okay, now let's have a look at this. Right, so create me an animal class there, please. So what's going to be in this? I'm going to put it at the very top of it. So I should always put explanations at the very top to say what it is. Okay, so the first one here, on the animal class. This contains animal class, class mammal, that extends animal, class ape, that extends mammal, class human, that extends ape. Now, so I'm going to say every animal. So what is this here? So this is the superclass of all animals. So we could be doing thousands of different animals, but this is going to be the superclass of all of our animals. So every animal is going to have a weight. Every animal is going to have an age. And I'm going to give it an age. Now every animal is going to have a method called print me. Now inside that we're going to just have the word animal print. And I'm going to print out this age. So that's the default age. So what is this here? So this is going to be the weight of animal. It's going to be the age of animal. Will be given default value of 10. Okay. So I'm not going to give an explicit value to any animal. So if I don't, it's going to be given a value of 10. Ever understand that? Yes? Yep. So when the print me method from the animal class is called, it will print animal print 10. Okay, this method my madness, I'm doing all this. Okay, So I am going to do class. So this is in the animal method, in the animal class. Now we're going to do a class mammal extends animal. So inside this, I'm going to give it an age of 20. Now that means that the default age of every animal, of every mammal, is 20. So I'm not going to be giving them ages. So they'll all have an age of, every mammal is going to have an age of 20. Okay, void print me. So this is overriding. So what's this for? It says overriding the print me method of the animal class. And we're going to say this. Mammal print plus age. So we're going to create a method inside the mammal class. Okay, so this is not overridden. Okay, so this is the mammals class own method that is not overridden. Okay, so this method is going to be called void call super. Okay, so we're going to access the age. Going to access the age of the mammal. Every mammal is going to have the default age of 20. Now, we're currently in the animal class. Alright? So just do call super there first. So mammal has an age of 20. Now that means if I create 20 mammals, they're all going to have the age of 20. Right? Unless I change the age. Does everyone understand that? Okay? So what I'm doing here is that's just the default age. Okay? I can come along and change any of the mammals' ages then though. Do you understand that? If I go mammal Maliki is equal to new mammal that means that Maliki is going to have an age of 10. If I create another mammal called Matt, he's also going to have an age of 10. Huh? Because, 20, sorry, 20. Okay? So all mammals are going to have a default age of 20. Yes? Okay, right. Now, so it's going to print off here, age is 20. Right? Now, what I'm going to show you here, I'm going to show you how to access variables from its superclass. So how do you access variables from its superclass? You do simple as this. So this is going to be accessing the age in the animal class. Yeah. Go on. Go ahead, Faye.
You just put the partner there, so